Alright, so this is basically part two of our earlier game jam recreation assignment, where in this time we had to take the creation and make it our own. So take the different mechanics and stuff and then change some and add new ones and create our own vision. So I changed similar, sort of, not quite. It's still a puzzle-based game, somewhat, but it's more focused on the platforming aspect, or of a mix of both. So basically, I guess the first edition is just these signs, which give you hints, help you get through. Second one, I accidentally hit the button, is you can dash. So you can dash forwards or you dash in the air. The third edition is these flags, which are checkpoints. Unfortunately, I completely forgot that I made it and really didn't use them until the last stage. So you don't see them throughout the entire game until the end, where you also just don't really need them because it's not that awful. But yeah, dash forwards with the shift button. Careful you don't miss your landing. And then, you know, you can jump higher if you hold it in spacebar. So you just tap it, you go up that high. But if you hold it, you go much higher. Which I guess is a new mechanic. Adjustable jump, as well as the movable camera. You can now move it around, and it's much easier to just have more control over the game instead of being forced into one perspective. The blue pad still will get rid of obstacles. You hit it, pad disappears, and you can now skip on through. You float on up, and you're into the next stage. Next stage is again our introduction to the clone pads. So our path here is blocked. Maybe there's a way we can get over the wall. So you head on over to these clone pads. You get the note, wonder what these pads will do to you. Hit the clone, and it switches over. You can switch between clones with tab. So this is two new mechanics, basically. One, which is a smaller one. This main one, which is the main focus of my assignment, is the new clone mechanic, where you can now clone and switch between the two of them, which gives you a lot more control over what you do with the clones and players. And like, I thought it was a nice addition. It was actually suggested by my professor to check it out, and I think it worked out very well, as now the player is able to use the clone to get to places they may not be able to otherwise. And quick message, clones cannot finish the level themselves, only the player can. Which, I suppose that's a new mechanic as well. I'm only realizing now, half of these are definitely new mechanics that I just did not take into accord when going through this. But yeah, this is I guess technically this could be counted onto the new clone mechanic, whereas your clones can no longer complete the level. Only the player can. So we will move on. And there is also, I guess, another difference with our new clones is that if you die, it does not reset the scene or reset the level, which does simplify the game quite a bit, but I thought it was nice. But here we have the same, sometimes you need to activate more than one pad to get through. We'll dash over. Alright, clone's gonna die. Unfortunate bug, because we're just freezing the player, some aspects of it for some reason stay. So if you dash and then switch to a clone or switch to a player, they will also dash. I'm not quite sure why. I guess it's because they're trying to copy the last state the player was in. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened. Right, exit should be on the other side of this wall. See if you can get rid of it somehow. So our exit is over there. A lot of this is just, okay. A lot of this is just simple platforming. None of it is, really advanced or anything like that. I was on a time crunch. I've had a lot of stuff on my plate, so unfortunately I couldn't get more in depth with some of these levels like I wanted to. And part of that, you will see later in the last stage, as I got way too invested into that one, and it is like 10 times bigger than any other stage. We also brought back the bullet mechanic, or the turret guns. So as you can see, they still have the same 2 modes. This stage is just the burst mode, which launches 5 bullets off. And this is just a quick introduction to them. Same thing, if you get hit by them, it'll just reset you to either the start of the stage or your most recent checkpoint. We'll head on. The continuous... Here is an example of the continuous still being here. So we will clone in. It's crazy. And so for this, basically I wanted this stage to kind of be like a almost impossible to beat stage without cloning, because you had to get up here and the only way you could do so was with the clone. And then we move on. Don't pay any attention to the bullets going out past there. So here, we need to get up there somewhere. So, goal for this level is get up on top of this platform. And how do you do that? Well, with our brand new mechanic to this game, or our main new mechanic, which is a teleport. As you can see, we are now up here. I can drop back down again, teleport right back up, and there is no teleporting back. You have to step on the plate again if you want to go. We'll head on to the next level, which is more teleporting. Cloning time. Hop on over here. Do a quick clone. I'll send the main player over here. And we will drop the clone onto this plate. So the player can now get through. Oh, and I guess that's another thing to show off. Just to have a bit more distinction, the clone's beak turns gray. So you can no longer tell, I guess, so you can tell who's who, instead of, getting confused, dragging the clone to the finish line. But, this level, you guys tread the unconventional path to find your exit. And we have 3 different ways we can go, 3 different possibilities. First one immediately killed us. If I can get in here quickly enough. It is just the turret mechanic, so there's nothing to do in there, so you have to kill yourself. Next level, or next area, brings back the clone. So we will bring it up. Just very quickly show you. You're supposed to bring yourself over here. Hop up and you get the message. This is not the exit you're looking for. And so you have to go back and try maybe this way. Which, maybe the goal's under one of these blocks. Who knows? Let's get rid of them all. Move them. Nope. Nothing here. So we have to go back. And this is where I tried to be a bit more tricky and add riddles in. So when I say I want you to tread the unconventional path, I mean, I wanted you to come over here and look at the arrows. And as you can see, they're pointing down. And if you look down, there is another platform with the exit. And I missed. All right, gotta kill it. All right, yeah, and that is how you beat that stage. Just quick tease. This is the final stage. So you cannot see all of it at the moment. There is much more beyond that. I got way too invested in building this. But welcome to the final level. Good luck on your climb. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun creating this final level. And it ended up being much bigger than I was expecting it would be. I just kept adding and I wanted to, similar to the previous level, I wanted it to utilize all of the mechanics. But I kind of didn't end up doing that as well as I could. As you can see, the checkpoints are here. And this is the only level, aside from the tutorial level, that uses them. My pressure plate stage was not great, as there's only one I entirely just zoned out making some of these levels, and the mechanics are not fully there for some of them, which was definitely a problem that I would like to look into fixing again in the future. But yeah, the first level is just kind of like intro to hops. The second level is our pressure plate, which isn't really much of a challenge. Third level brings our clone in. As we can see, you have gaps, which the player cannot jump over. So you have to use the clone to be able to get through them. Now, I'll have to switch back to the clone, bring him over, and we'll set him up here. So technically you can skip the entire first part of that section because you just need to get the clone to here, and then you can jump on his head and jump up, which was a missight on my side here. But for the most part, some people will not. I guess, banking on the fact that most people will not pay enough attention to that and will just assume, that's what they need to do. Now here we have more of the guns. I believe this is the fourth stage technically, which brings back the guns. It's burst again. And now we have to jump. This time you have to jump over them to avoid them, otherwise you cannot make it. And we will have to jump again. I did not jump in time. You have to be it is very tight jumps in here to get through. So you have to be very careful. And this is where the holding the spacebar comes in and helps out a lot, because you get a lot more height with it and it helps you to dodge them. Because even if the slightest bottom part of you touches any of these, it will reset you. Where'd the bullet go? Why is it? Okay, the bullets are loading weirdly. And there to the next part. And so that is the end of those. Now here we bring back the teleport mechanic. And a maze, because I am evil. So there is a little code here to help you get through the maze, which gives you 5 colors, red, pink, green, orange, and purple, and gives you 5 items. And so this is the key to get through the maze. And so as you can see, each room, with the exception of this one, has 4 walls, each with an item on it. And so the code indicates which items you need to use. So we have red boost, pink star, green pill. It is a little hard to see, but orange diamond. And then our last code was purple potion. As you can see, there is no purple potion in this room. And the goal, for people who are paying enough attention will notice, we have a red and blue potion with a pad in between them. And when you mix red and blue together, you get purple. And you also get your goal. So we will hop on out of here and on to stage. At this point, I kind of forgot about the mechanic. I kind of just ended up like going and kind of dropping all of the mechanics. And so this last stage is just a pure... Why can you not get over this now? Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's just a pure, jump your way through. Get up here real quick. And then make it to the end. Congrats, you've made it. And your reward is a bunch of gold and red gems. And then, here's our finish goal. At one point, I just had to stop myself because I wanted to keep going, keep making more. Because I was just having way too much fun with it. But, yeah. This is stage. This is the whole game. Hit this, sends you up, and it buzzes. As there's no more stages, that is our game. Okay, so I wanted to showcase like a few extra things to this, which will make this video a little longer, which is why this will be a separate video on the channel, as I was only allowed to, or I was told I had to make the video smaller for my teacher. But basically, the first initial thing that was not intended, that I didn't realize at first, was that the player can double jump on signs. The way the signs are built is that they have a small hitbox so that the player won't run into them, but then they also have a bigger hitbox around it that you can walk through, which is what helps these pop-ups show up. And I think it's the player is detecting the other box and using that to jump. The other thing that wasn't originally intentional, or I guess fully wasn't intentional, but somehow ended up happening for every level, is the fact that you can speedrun through basically the entire thing. So since you can double jump, you can skip this entire thing, or you can just dash around it. And it's the same thing with every single level, like this one. You can double jump and you are through. You can also dash around, although that is more precise. Same here, if I jumped properly. But you can jump and dash to get through this and just skip the entire mechanic of the level. So it wasn't intentional at the start, but then I ended up keeping it in because I thought it was just really cool. I like speedrunning, so why not keep it in the game? Do the same thing here. Just avoid this, hop up here, and then we don't have to even care about the bullets whatsoever. The next level is a little harder, but not by much. You just have to hop up here and miss the jump entirely. All right. Okay. If I was a little better at my own game, this would be much faster. But yeah, you can skip a lot of stuff in the stages, speedrun through it. With this, it's just simply dash through as fast as you can. This one, you can also, even though it's a bit more precise, you can jump around this and skip the entire stage. Same one here, if you know what you're doing, easily you can just drop down to here. This one was really fun for me to do. And this is where I initially found out that you could double jump off these. Because you start by double jumping here. So you can't quite make it up there. But yeah, the main path for if you want to speed run, double jump off that. I believe if you hop that, you can make that. But there is several paths that you can take to speed through this. This one you can skip the entire thing. I believe in the earlier part of the video I also showed that you don't need to do half of that, you can skip it. Or I guess, this is where it's at. Because the player is able to get through these gaps. They are big enough that they can just do that. They can also skip through there. And just like that, you're up. So this one is a lot harder, but if you are accurate enough, you can skip this entire thing here. But it is a little harder to do because you need to be very technical with it, and I am not doing great. Oh, I had it. I hit the wall. Oh, this is gonna make this so much longer than it needs to be. There. So there, we're through. And there's not really any way to speedrun this part besides from just going with it. Same with this part. There's not really a way to speedrun it aside from just knowing the path you're supposed to take and then I guess dashing everywhere. Where are we at? And we gotta hit this one. But here, get through here. can actually skip this entire thing and then dash up to here. And that takes out like that entire section. And then you are up to the top. But yeah, none of this was planned to be in initially. It all just kind of happened and was there, which I decided to keep in. You know, if you're someone who likes, exploring everything, trying everything you can, I think it's great because it gives you an opportunity to just speed through stuff instead of having to slowly get through everything. But yeah, that's just, an extra, quick look at how quickly you can get through the game, even if it wasn't intentional at first.